Okay, so I accidentally cut off my last video, but I'm going to be finishing this now. I don't actually know what this tool is called. I can't remember. I saw somebody using it in a video and I love it. It's definitely a game changer. I got it off of Amazon for I think $5 or $6. If anybody wants to find out what it is, I can try and find out and let you know. But this basically grips the square wire and helps you turn it a lot easier. But for the longest time I used these. They're a little worn out now, but you can also buy these at your local arts and crafts store or online. And it's got this like hard rubbery plastic here to kind of grip the wire to where it doesn't damage the wire. But now I use this, and basically you just put the square wire in there and kind of make sure it's in there good. Hold on to the wrap and then you just twist. Which sometimes the ends, it won't hold the ends all the way, so I clip the ends off and then it works. Yeah, there we go. And then you can see it starting to twist it. And I just do this for a couple seconds until it looks good. And then you've got the twisted wire. You can see it reflecting. And then I do it with all four. Okay, so now I've got them all four twisted, and every wrap is different. I kind of just wing it once I get there to these last four wires. Sometimes if you want to, you could just clip them off and not do anything with it. Because this bell was a little bit shorter, I do want to kind of cover this little corner right here. So I'm thinking I'll probably do something. I don't really want to do any swirls necessarily. I might do a little swirl right there just to kind of cover that up. And the reason I do such a larger bail like that, I really just want to make sure it's all secure, and it just really adds more detail to the wrap. Okay, so I went ahead and did a little swirl right there. And then I'll probably take this wire, wrap it around back here. And then I'll test it and see if maybe I can do it around the front like that. And wrap it. Yeah, we can do that. So then what I do is I pull this wire out from the back just a little bit to where I can fit my plier or my wires underneath there. So I'll fold it back this way. And then I'm going to take them and kind of loop them. It's usually easier if you go ahead and kind of create a slight curve on the tip of the wire before you start, to where they kind of just nicely slide right underneath that wire. And just kind of tuck them to where they come out the other side. And then I grab these pliers. Sometimes this is the tricky part. If you don't have too much wire to work with, I was cutting it a little close this time. I grip them. There we go. And sometimes you'll have some wire come off the ends while you're pinching them, but it's okay. And just go ahead and pull. I usually end up trimming the very tip off anyways, especially if I have a lot of wire to work with, because I need, once I get it wrapped around, then I tuck it under because you don't want that scratching anyone. And then I always run my finger over it whenever I end a wire to make sure that there's no rough spots. And you can also take a file and file any rough spots down that there might be. So then now the front looks like this, but because of me cutting a little bit close, these wires up here got moved. So I just take my pliers and I kind of readjust them and make sure that they are where I want them to be. So I'm just going to flatten that one out a little bit. It looks like that. And usually you can just kind of manipulate them however you want them to go. Okay, so then we've got this side over here. And I'm thinking, I liked the style I did with the last coffin I made. So what I'm going to do is take these two wires and run them. It's a little bit trickier, but run them up here underneath this one because it was a little loose when I first did it. So I'm running them under this wire, or these wires here, to kind of hold them down so they don't get too out of place. It's a little bit tricky, but you can kind of change the wire once you get it in there. Okay, so with this, I want to kind of make this a little bit wavier here. Like I said, I'm just kind of going with the flow. I didn't really have a specific design in mind whenever I first started, which is how really all my wraps go. And then I just want to do the stone justice. Okay, I think I'm going to just go ahead. I don't really like the way that looks, so I'm just going to tuck those in a little bit more. And then have this kind of do the wave out here like I had done for the last one. And maybe put it a little closer to the bottom this time. And this wire here is a little bit out of place. So far that's what I've got. So then I'll wrap it around the back. And really you can attach it anywhere that you want to. I'll probably do it up here. Or I'll probably do it over here actually. That way it won't stick out as far. So once again, with that back wire, it's flat against the back of the cab. So I'm going to pull it out just a little. And I don't want this much wire here because I find it a little bit harder to try and wrap it around that wire whenever there's a lot of extra wire. So I trimmed a little bit off, And then I'm going to curl them once again, and with the pliers take both and stick them under that wire. And sometimes they get underneath a little too far. It's a little harder to get them. So I try to kind of slide them out this way. And then I grab my other pliers. And I pull it as tight as I can. See, this time there's too much wire. So I trim just the tiniest bit off again. And then I take these pliers and tuck them in. And then one of the last steps that I do, that's what it looks like on the front now. One of the last steps I do is I come back here and I just kind of tighten all the wires to really make sure that they're all as tight as they can be. You don't want to do it too hard because you can break the wires. I've broken so many wires in the past. And then I'll tighten these just a little bit, but I put my fingers on the sides where it doesn't move the wires on the front at all. It might just a little bit, but not a whole lot as long as you put your finger on the side. And then I do this just to really tighten everything down. And that's what the back looks like. And that's what the front looks like. And I'll kind of give it a look over at the very end and make sure everything looks good. I'll go back and kind of make sure my bail is perfectly straight. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.